This is KGW News at noon.
The reality is, the district has the funds, they refuse to talk to us about class sizes and the impacts on our students, and that is why they continue to keep kids out of school.
More than 40,000 students do not have class again today as the strike reaches its third week. And just 10 minutes ago, Portland Public Schools announced that schools will be closed again tomorrow. You just heard from the president of the Portland Teachers Union putting the blame on the Portland Public Schools district for the strike. But district officials say they addressed compensation, prep time, and class sizes in their latest offer. PPS and the Teachers Union spent the weekend bargaining, but couldn't reach a deal. Here's where things stand. The district says its most recent proposal includes a one-time bonus and some student-centered investments. The union argues the district can do more and says it doesn't agree with the numbers that the district has been laying out. The district, meantime, says its latest offer would require more than $100 million in budget cuts.
I've been saying this from the beginning, compensation, class size, you have to manage those two dials or you could put your school district in insolvency. We don't want to do that.
Well, some parents are expressing a lot of frustration with all sides in the negotiations process, saying it is keeping students from getting a proper education.
I feel like the adults in the room have royally messed up, meaning PPS, Portland Teachers Union, the legislature, the governor. The adults in the room can't get this together and work this out, and our children are once again at home, out of school, and their education is suffering.
Bargaining is scheduled to resume tomorrow. Today, the city of Portland was supposed to start enforcing its new daytime camping ban, but the city is now in a holding pattern after a judge blocked enforcement for now. A Multnomah County judge made the decision last week. A group of homeless Portlanders sued the city in late September, calling the ban unconstitutional given the lack of shelter space. The judge granted a temporary block on enforcement as the case plays out in court. Homeless advocates hope this gives leaders time to address the need for more resources and shelter space before the city starts enforcing the ban.
This gives us an opportunity to kind of reflect, see how we're approaching this, and I think we'll do it more strategically and we'll do it better. I think at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want people not living on the streets, and most importantly, the people that are living on the streets don't want to be there either.
Mayor Ted Wheeler says the city will continue to fight in court for the right to regulate unsanctioned camping. Today marks 1 year since 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their off-campus home in Moscow. At 6 o'clock tonight, there will be a vigil at the university to remember them. Corey Howard with our sister station in Spokane has the story.
On this brisk autumn day, for the first time in many months, the backdrop of this memorial that still stands is law enforcement. The FBI collecting more evidence from the King Road house.
Last year was a stark reminder crime can happen anywhere, and violent crime happens everywhere.
But across the way, with the Vandal logo proudly shining above the campus of the University of Idaho, another kind of reminder is in motion.
It's about moving forward, but not moving past.
On this day, on this campus, born out of tragedy, for the past year, is the very definition of strength.
The Vandal family value has just really been reinforced, looking out for one another, caring for one another, and those have been lasting legacies from how we all came together from last fall.
Through support near and far,
I've heard from people from all over the world over the last year.
Dean of Students Blaine Eccles,
that outpouring of care and support just means the world to us.
Has watched his students and his staff, his Vandal community.
We have alumni checking in saying Vandal strong, we've got your back, let us know how we can help and support.
Persevere through unimaginable hurt.
I'm really proud of our students, how they navigated through it last year. Just nothing but absolute pride in being a Vandal myself.
And it's a community that even in the face of international attention from what happened, continues to grow.
Last year we had our largest first year class. This year we had our second largest.
And Eccles attributes that growth to the very foundation the university is built on.
I think how we responded last year reinforced the importance of what we place as far as the value of our students and their safety, care, and concern. I think that's a message that has resonated as well.
It hasn't been an easy road by any means.
What happened last year shook everybody to our core, without a doubt. It was a scary time on campus.
And the process is not over.
I think some students still struggle with it, for sure.
But Eccles says the Vandal family has been doing everything they can to protect a safe learning environment. Practical things like increasing security. Ultimately, though, the culture has been cultivated by the Vandals themselves.
By students just showing up en masse to so many events, our athletic events, our plays, our programs.
Eccles says the university, as an educational institution after all, has been offering students not only chances to learn, but to cope with loss through counseling and classes.
Students are utilizing the support services. They're showing up to our education programs. They're excited to be here. That's an infectious vibe that many of our students have.
To some, the changing colors and falling leaves can signal the end of a once vibrant season. But as the students at the University of Idaho shuffle off to class amidst the falling foliage on this October day, they do so knowing, perhaps better than some after the past year, that it's really just the beginning in the cycle of healing.
They have an absolute love for this institution, absolute love for their experience, and absolute love for the 4 Vandals that we lost.
Back closer to home now, we are taking a live look at Portland. A bit of a gray day there for sure. This is a shot from our Rose City Skycam. Some of those clouds from this morning cleared out a little bit. Meteorologist Chris McGinnis is in for us this noon. Chris, what are we looking at weather-wise today?
We are starting to poke a few more holes in that cloud cover. In case in point, behind me, Christine, this is the live look from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Off in the distance, Cascade Head there, and you can see the headland sort of appearing. We couldn't really see it very well this morning, and of course we've got a little blue sky above that as well. So nice to see that. We'll take you down to the Stoller Vineyard in Dayton. The low clouds breaking up a little bit. There is a high thin overcast that's kind of filtering the sun down there. And one more vantage point from out in the Dalles. This is from our camera atop Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles this morning. We've got kind of clearing sky on the east side of the state. The west side of the state still has some residual, we'll call them debris clouds from the front that blew through here late last night and early this morning with, yes, more rain. There is, in fact, some rain. Do I have it showing up on radar? Let's go a little wider. We've got some showers across the far eastern Columbia Basin and heading out into the Wallowas and southeast Washington. Those will continue pulling out. Also some showers down towards Cave Falls. Those two will continue lifting on off to the east. All right, right now from our Wells Fargo sky camera, again, we're starting to break up the cloud cover just a little bit. It's 54 last check at PDX, and elsewhere across the region, low 50s pretty common at this noon hour. It's 55 right now in Scappoose with slight south into the Willamette Valley, 53 last check in Salem. The plan for today, lots of clouds now, and I think we will poke a few more holes in that cloud cover this afternoon with a high temperature probably not going very far from where we are right now, about 56 or so. And of course, note the sunset before 5 o'clock, right? So partly cloudy this evening. There could be some fog forming overnight tonight. Otherwise, I think Tuesday is a mostly dry day. Little wet weather midweek and then a couple more dry days. I'm going to walk you through that with the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Time is running out. It's 5 weeks already. It's 35 days that our beloved ones are not with us. And infant, babies, toddlers, elderly, innocent civilians that were kidnapped from their home and from their bed.
Israeli and Jewish people in our area gathered in Beaverton over the weekend to show their support for the more than 200 people who are still being held hostage by Hamas. There was also this gathering over the weekend in southeast Portland where local labor unions rallied, holding signs calling for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the World Health Organization says the main hospital serving the territory is no longer functioning after being without power for 3 days. President Biden today saying that the hospital must be protected. Doctors and health officials there at that hospital say several newborns have died and more are at risk. NBC's Jay Gray is in Tel Aviv with more details.
Hey there, good evening. Over the last 48 hours, there has been intense fighting and a lot of it around many of the hospitals in Gaza. Look, some of the most fierce attacks have come outside of Al-Shifa Hospital, which is the biggest and most advanced facility in Gaza. 39 babies there had to be removed from incubators over the weekend. The hospital no longer has any oxygen or power. 3 of those newborns died, and doctors say 36 still fighting for their lives will not survive much longer if they aren't transferred to a fully operational facility. That all going on as talks are continuing. Qatari officials, the intermediaries, and one diplomat familiar with the talks to free the hostages telling NBC News that IDF troops moving further into Gaza and into some of the urban areas now is really putting a strain on those negotiations. There continue to be rumors of a deal that could free 10 to 20 hostages, but no details of that. Obviously, they're doing all of that behind closed doors. And Israel continues to say that there will be no long-duration ceasefire or pause until all of the hostages are released. All of this unfolding while the White House acknowledges a 3-year-old American whose parents were killed in the October 7th attacks may be among those being held captive. And the State Department tells us there are 10 Americans still unaccounted for since those attacks. That's the latest here in Tel Aviv. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Back home, meet Trooper. He is exactly what his name is. He's happy and healthy right now, but poor guy suffered terrible abuse last month. This X-ray tells the story. Trooper was shot, muzzled, and left for dead in a ditch. A crew of linemen found him near Mount St. Helens and drove him to the Humane Society, where vets nursed him back to health. They also found Trooper a forever home.
Daughter moved away to college, so it was we'd been kicking around the idea of adopting another dog. So he's going to come join our clan of dogs, and we're going to spoil him.
Oh, he absolutely deserves it. The Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information about what happened to Trooper to come forward.